What is going on, my friends? Vitalik Buterin is here, founder of Bitcoin Sports Club, and welcome to another episode of Today in Crypto Show, where I'm discussing the latest and the greatest news in the world of Bitcoin cryptocurrency. And today we have two big, massive, major news for the Bitcoin price, taking it to the downside. One has to do with Bitmex, one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world, that is being charged by the US government right now for operating the exchange illegally and charging criminal activities to them, which took the Bitcoin price down immediately. And the other one, that the President of United States, Donald Trump, has contacted and tested positive for the COVID-19 coronavirus, and that also took a big effect on the market. So there's a lot of uncertainty going on right now. I want to discuss all of that today and what's happening right now in Bitcoin, in the crypto markets, where we might see Bitcoin go in the short term as well as in the long term. So let's get started. And the first big news that came in very recently, that the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which part of the US Department of Justice, has filed charges against the crypto derivative exchange Bitmex and its operators. This is one of the largest exchanges of crypto in the world, using leverage derivative trading up to 100x leverage. It was very popular exchange in the last several years. Now it has more competition, more similar leverage trading exchanges, and Bitmex is on the verge of shutting down. Okay, so we're going to discuss that. What is the implication of that? So what basically they are in this charge, what they're saying is, you can read it, it's a long one. In a nutshell, they have 85,000 US customers, US citizens, who were depositing Bitcoin into the exchange, $11 billion, something like that. And they had trillions of dollars of volume. They made $1 billion, more than that, in fees. And they didn't do KYC. And they essentially charging them for not assisting with and violating the anti-money laundering rules. And essentially, it doesn't matter that they are registered in Seychelles, which is not in US. Still, they are being charged for taking and dealing with US citizens, okay, and assisting with money laundering and not really doing KYC. So this is what's going on right now, and essentially, this is the official right there on the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. They're charging the owners and the companies that they're been trading off the related criminal action. Okay, they've been operating since 2014, the Bitmex exchange, and it grew and became one of the largest exchanges in the world. And right now, what's going on? Okay, after it broke, the news broke, Bitcoin price, as you can see right there, plummeted to the downside in a couple of hours and losing $400, which is essentially not that big over the bigger picture. Okay, it's about 3.5%, something like that, which Bitcoin is, quite strong reacted to those type of news. It doesn't mean that we cannot go lower. I'll discuss all of that in a second. Okay, it's just maybe the beginning of the dump, but this is what happened in the first couple hours following the news of Bitmex. Now, their response, that we strongly disagree with the US government's heavy-handed decisions to bring these charges, intended to defend allegations vigorously, and in the meantime, the platform is operating entirely as normal and funds are safe. That's what they're saying. However, if you are, if you have an account in Bitmex, I strongly suggest that you withdraw that money as soon as you can. Because essentially the CTO, Samuel Reed, has been arrested and we don't know what's going to happen with the $400 million insurance fund, and we already see more than 32,000 Bitcoin, about $335 million have been withdrawn from Bitmex after the US government charges its owners. And I think this is just the beginning of people withdrawing from the exchange, and essentially Bitmex going and disappearing from the crypto market. Okay, they still currently hold 135,000 to 170,000 Bitcoin. And what's important to understand also that Bitmex owns about $2 billion in the crypto, and they can easily go and liquidate all or some of those $2 billion in Bitcoin that they have, or the US governments can take essentially ownership and dump it to the market, or they can at least, they know they'll have to pay in US dollars to fees, and it's not going to be a small fine. So they might go and liquidate a good portion of those $2 billion onto the exchanges, which is 193,000 Bitcoins. And imagine 193,000 Bitcoins going to the exchanges and being liquidated and turning into US dollars. It will take the price of Bitcoin, of course, down. So this is not bullish news at all. Okay, there is a risk associated with that you need to understand. So that's what's happening right now. Users are withdrawing from Bitmex, and tomorrow they'll withdraw some more, as not everybody's got this news yet. There is still a lot of funds in Bitmex, and because of what's happening, the CTO has been arrested. Most people are going to just withdraw from the exchange, and they will stop using Bitmex. Bitmex had a lot of volume as an exchange, into the multiple $billion a day, right? $2 billion trading volume. You can see that. Okay. However, it seems like the exchange is going down right now, and that's unfortunate for the crypto space. So what's going on right now in the price of Bitcoin? We saw the dump. Right now we are somewhat recovering from the dump. What else affected today the markets is this big news about Donald Trump, the president of the United States, and the first lady tested positive for COVID-19, and they're beginning their quarantine and recovery process. We'll get through this together. That's what he tweeted. And essentially, the irony of this is just recently on the debate with Vice President Biden, he was mocking him for wearing a mask, and essentially that's what he said.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. I don't wear masks like
200 feet away, he's showing with the biggest masks, and essentially he was mocking and deriding so much, like, it's not that important, and he was not wearing a mask while Joe Biden was wearing a mask. But it doesn't mean that Joe Biden couldn't contract the virus too. There is always a possibility that this has also happened. But the question right now, will Donald Trump continue to be nominated for winning the election, for essentially being a participant in the election or not? Because if his situation is going to get worse, then he will not be able to basically be eligible for being part of the election. So that is also not a good news for the markets. It's not enough that we have this election and uncertainty going on, and the COVID situation, but now the president test results came in positive. Okay, but here's what's also important to understand. The specific rules of the prediction market state temporary incapacity resulting in a temporary transfer of authority to an active president should have no bearing of the outcome of this market. With the threat of impeachment no longer hanging over him, this means that predictors are essentially betting on the likelihood of the Trump's death. So that's what's happening right now. The biggest news, it's all over the place. So let's take a look at what's happening for the price of Bitcoin. On a daily chart, we might have this head and shoulder pattern developed. If this is going to come true and we are going to break out of this 10,000, you know, 10,300, if $10,400 is not going to hold and $10,000 is not going to hold, we might very well plummet to 9,800 or 9,600, somewhere in this area for the price of Bitcoin. Also on the monthly, we are not looking so good right now. We started this bearish continuation pattern right here. Let's take a look at this. Delete. 1 second. So we can see that the stock RSI right here is at the top on the monthly, which is not a particularly good sign. If we were going to cross right here, and this line, the orange line, is going to cross the blue line. But right now we are still not in this, you know, big danger zone, okay? Because we did fall, but we fell a little bit. It's not a major dump. It was not a major dump. And we're still above the 21-week moving averages. As long as this position holds, and we can see that we were down as much as $10,386, and now we are up to $10,541. As long as we are up right here above this level, then we're still in the bullish territory. But if we break down the 21-week moving averages, then we should be more concerned. However, in the worst case scenario, we were never ever below the 200 weeks moving averages, which is this line right here. Never in the history of Bitcoin we were below this line. So right now this line is somewhere around $6,800. So in the very worst case scenario, if we are going to drop hard, this is the target that is not likely to be breached to the downside, because not in the history of Bitcoin ever it happened, okay? But we have a lot of support in those areas, so we're still far away from this. And also looking at the daily, we are above this breakout point from this trend line as we broke it in July. Let me draw it for you right now, so you can see this trend line that started from here, like this. Okay, so this trend line right here, we broke it in July, and we are way above this. So we might come back and retest this this line. It's about $9,000 area. So if we're not going to hold the $9,600, we might retest the 9,000, this trend line, and move from there upwards. Okay, and in the very worst scenario, it's not going to go down below $6,800. Also, this line of 200-day moving averages, that should be a very strong support line. So if we do come down right here to this place, somewhere around here, $9,400. So what we have right now going on, essentially, we have this symmetrical triangle over here. So you have this right here and this right here. So we have this symmetrical triangle, and I believe that somewhere before October the 7th, we are going to break either to the downside or to the upside. Right now, we are holding this line. We have 50 chance going up, 50 chance going down in this particular pattern. But right now, because of what's going on, I think the chances are more higher that we break in the short term to the downside and not to the upside. Okay, so keep that in mind. But everything can happen in crypto. Okay, historically, we didn't have during the election years, we didn't have good months. We didn't have a good months. Take a look at what happened in right here, December, October 2016. September was bearish, right here. October. During the election years has historically been not a very good month for the crypto, for the stock market and for the crypto as well. I don't see a big crash in the stock market. You can see it right here. The stock market didn't go that low. It came down, but today, but went back up. The gold did good. The gold is actually have risen some following the news. As gold is more like seen still as a safe haven asset. Bitcoin is not as much, but gold is more. And when the market is uncertain and plummeting, gold usually is doing the opposite direction, going to the opposite direction. One of the coins that is up highly today is Utrust. So while most coins are in the deep bear situation, going down and correcting, this is one of the coins that are doing great today. You can see in the last 24 hours, not many coins in the zone, not many coins in the green. A lot more coins are in the red, and in the top 10 we see some big drops. Chainlink, Polkadot, seen some big drops. Polkadot around $4 right now. You can grab it, of course. It's much cheaper than it used to be before. Yeah, so this is essentially the biggest news. Also, Ethereum based layer scalability is still years away. The full fetch, the base layer, the layer 1 scalability for application is only coming as the last major phase, Ethereum 2.0, which is still years away, said the co-founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin. So he said that it doesn't have. I don't think it's important to know that at least in the short term, as far as I can tell, we have no choice. The layer 1 is nearly unusable for many classes of application, and there is no non-L2 path that can get us scalability in the short to medium term. So that's not so good news for Ethereum either, as we might deal with a situation where Ethereum still is mandating big fees, and is not suitable for what it's designed to do, which is dealing with so many the applications, decentralized finance. People are choosing Ethereum, of course. Right now is the best candidate. The most developers are working on the Ethereum blockchain, but it will take time. The first phase might launch this year, but we're still some 2 years away until the full potential of Ethereum 2.0 is going to be implemented. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Hit the like on this video, subscribe to our channel for notifications, stay up to date with our group, with everything that is going on, and looking forward for our next episode of Today in Crypto Show. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody, and talk soon.